Good Monday morning. Good Monday morning. Good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. Did you have a good weekend? I had a great weekend. You know, I go and I like to read and write and study on the weekends, and I like to do that. And really, some people call it working, but you know, Lonnie, my dogs think that I just want to spend time with them, and it's great for them because they think I'm spending time just with them. That I've decided to spend time with the dogs. Oh, okay. Some people, you know, I'm your host BKP. It's Monday morning. We got a different kind of show this morning. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. It's very hot out there. Be careful. Make sure you have something to rehydrate yourself. I use the Rehydrate from Advocare. That's what I use. But make sure you're using something and stay hydrated out there in the heat. Got my Spark this morning. Gonna need that. I'm in a pretty good mood. Hey, Lonnie. Do you actually play that Pokemon Go? I want you to do this on national TV. See, this is national TV because there's people watching nationally somewhere. I want to know, do you actually play that? I want you to tell people on national TV if you play that Pokemon Go.
Suspense must be killing you.
All right. You better not. I just, you know what? I seen you bump into the wall a while ago, and I didn't know if you were going to the restroom or looking for a Pokemon. I didn't know what you were doing. So,
what does it matter if I do?
Huh?
What does it matter if I do?
Well, I don't want you bouncing off the walls, and I don't want all those Pokemon here in the office. Folks, Pokemon is not translating into profits for Nintendo. It's not as large as they anticipated. There you go.
That's why they're starting to open up advertisement for companies. You can actually pay for your business to become one of their stops, and you can pay the company to become a stop to make people come into your store.
Why do you want people coming in your store looking for a Pokemon?
So
They're not going to buy anything. They're just going to wander around and knock the shelves over. I mean, seriously, you want people to come into your store looking for a Pokemon?
It's foot traffic.
Foot traffic, yeah, I can give you some foot traffic, all right. Anyhow, let's get focused here. It's 8:03. Good morning. We have a different kind of show. First of all, George is traveling out west, doing a little research for his travel show to be coming up in the next couple weeks. But George won't be with us this morning. We are going to we're going to be talking national issues at the 9 o'clock hour, so we don't want you to think that we're not going to. But tomorrow is runoff day in the election. It's election runoff day. Some of you do not realize that there is still an election going on in several counties. So we are going to focus on some of those elections today. We're going to go at 9 o'clock, and we're going to dig in to the probate judge race in Gilmer County. All right. And we're also going to dig into the magistrate's race in Fannin County, magistrate judge race, and then also the sheriff race over in Dawson County. There's some others going along the state. Now, if in your area you want us to remind people of a runoff election that's taking place, because that's the goal this morning. The ideal is to get people to realize you need to call people and tell them tomorrow is an election. It's very, very important. Sometimes people think, and I can understand this could be an honest mistake, sometimes people think if they voted for their candidate and they didn't make it, I mean, can they go back and vote again? Yes, everybody that is a registered voter can go back and vote again tomorrow. So make sure you get out there and tell everybody, hey, get to the polls tomorrow. Where do you vote? You vote at your regular precinct. They're all open, every one of them. Wherever you normally go to vote, that is where you go tomorrow, okay? Polls are open from 7 to 7, right, Lonnie? I think 7 to 7 tomorrow, just like any normal election. But it's a runoff election, and we'll be focusing on several. Now, if you have a runoff election in the North Georgia area that I have not mentioned, but you want us to remind people of, on this show. That's very important today. Call us at 706-889-9700. Maybe easier, just send a text message with those names and what the race is, 706-889-9700, or email us at chief@fetchernews.com. That's chief@fetchernews.com. We want to make sure we highlight all the elections that are going on in the North Georgia and surrounding areas. So send that to us. Now that's what we'll do at 9 o'clock. And yes, we will be talking about the DNC. Now briefly, Carla will be in here at 8:30. Did we remind her? I mean, we have to remind Carla. Let's talk to her about that today, about why we have to remind her every Monday that it's Monday. I mean, seriously, folks. I mean, if you're doing something every Monday at 8:30, shouldn't you remember? We'll get right into that as soon as Carla gets here. Carla's Corner at 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock, a full hour of election and other things concerning the DNC. Now, the DNC, okay, they've picked Tim Kaine. We've got that, right? And that goes definitely against everything the Bernie Sanders folks wanted. They got nothing out of the deal. Nothing out of the deal. Now, folks, here's what you're going to have to do, and you're not going to like it. You're going to have to watch the DNC convention. You're going to have to, okay? Because I'm going to tell you now, do not come up to me and say anybody but Hillary if you cannot explain to your neighbor why you can't elect Hillary Clinton. It is time for you to become educated, study what's going on, study what they're doing, pay attention, and get out there and get to work. Because I'm going to tell you something, okay? The Republican Party will not let the college youth down. Now, I said Republican Party. I got to be careful with that, Lonnie, because, you know, I don't want to come across sounding like a party guy. Could you please participate in any time I sound like a party guy and just giving me a caution, like a red flag over there or something?
Like throwing a full bottle of water at you?
No, don't throw no water at me, but I like the Republican Party. I'm on their side, actually. I have to admit that, but I don't want to sound like a party guy. Anyhow.
So you want me to help govern make sure you're not a party guy, but you won't let me throw things at you. So what's in this for me?
Just go back to whatever you do over there behind that big screen. Anyhow, listen, folks, the Republicans are not going to let the college kids down. They're not going to let the college kids down, okay? We have not let the college kids down. Our whole ideal is for you to go to college. I think the tuition is through the roof. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. And hey, by the way, if you want to check it out, college tuition is something definitely that the Democrats have pumped up and promoted with all their professors, okay, in tenure, okay? Let's get past that. All right, so the Republicans want to let the college kids get a degree and get a job. There you go. Then they can pay for the college education because they have a good job. And college education should not cost as much as it does in America, folks. It should not cost this much, but it can't be free. Now, that being said, the Republicans will not let the college kids down. This is your opportunity to tell everybody how the DNC is letting the kids down again, what they have done to Bernie Sanders. And running for cover this morning. The Clinton campaign is running for cover. At the Huffington Post, fear Putin is meddling in the U.S. pres election. No, that's not happening, folks. I don't see it. I don't see Putin. I don't see the Russians. Okay, let's see which other one I have here. I had one other one to show you. There's a couple of them where they're blaming the Russians. Okay, they're blaming the Russians. If you look at some of the headlines this morning, that they're the ones that have leaked the emails, you know, basically attacking Bernie Sanders. Now, I guess we live in a Facebook world because the guy that apologized did it on Facebook. Did he call Bernie up? Did he call the people up? Why did he come out in front of the TV camera? Okay? Did he get fired? I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. See, the Democrats don't fire people, and we have learned that. Through the VA scandal, the IRS scandal, they don't fire anybody. But, you know what? The Republicans, they filled the voids. Now, whether you like it or not, with Mike Pence. So if you're on the Republican side and you're a conservative, if you're on the Republican side and you're you're a Christian, conservative, you're on the Republican side and you're a constitutionalist, all the above, fiscally sound, all the above, and you want to make sure that your presidential candidate, those slots are filled, you pick Mike Pence. Now, Mike Pence, actually, if Ted Cruz would have handled this correctly, Mike Pence fills the Ted Cruz spot very well. That the Ted Cruz, see, that's the number two. You got Bernie Sanders over here to Hillary. You got Ted Cruz over here to Donald Trump. Well, if Cruz doesn't win, the least he could do is get somebody in there as VP that will satisfy the Cruz supporters. The Republicans did that. The Republicans did that. I mean, you know, there was talk Rudy Giuliani, but that would have been a, you know, slightly liberal guy from the Northeast in New York City. Chris Christie, a little liberal guy, maybe a little bit from the Northeast. The people didn't want that. They wanted the Ted Cruz, but not Ted Cruz. Mike Pence is a very good choice, okay? So if Ted Cruz does not do what he does, you know, hey, Donald Trump did a very good job of saying to the Ted Cruz supporters out there, look, we hear you loud and clear. You want to hold my feet to the fire on conservative judges. You want to hold my feet to the fire on the Constitution. You want to hold my feet to the fire on this, this, and this. Mike Pence is that solid side to help convince you that I'm going to go in the right direction. Convince you he's going to go in the right direction. You have to be prepared and you have to study every bit of this to be able to tell your neighbors. Now you go to the other side. Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, wants to take down Wall Street, wants to take down all the big banks, wants to take she wants to go after them. The trade deals, all the trade deals. Bernie Sanders wants to go after, Wall Street corruption, the trade deals, the whole 9 yards. Okay, he wants to go after it, all right? Okay, so Bernie comes in second. Bernie has a pretty good movement, okay? Bernie has actually a stronger movement on that side of the aisle than actually Ted Cruz had on the Republican side of the aisle. Don't misunderstand that. Bernie had a pretty good sized movement, and what Hillary Clinton should have done or could have done is pick somebody that said to Bernie Sanders supporters, yes, I'm not just giving you lip service. I'm really going to go after Wall Street corruption. I'm really going to go after the big banks. I'm really going to go after bad trade deals. I'm really going to be the progressive that you people want me to be. That's really who I'm going to be. Okay? All right? Now look, folks, this is the same lady. This is the same lady that opposed the Keystone Pipeline. It says she was an environmentalist, and the next thing she knew, after her husband got a lot of money, you got to go pay attention. Hillary signed off on the environmental impact studies for the Keystone Pipeline. That's right. As soon as you pay the Clintons enough money, she signs off. Okay? These are the people that just devastated rainforest in Colombia. Okay? On and on and on. So that being said, Tim Kaine is not that pick. He does not fill any of those spots. Now, Tim Kaine doesn't fill those spots. It's obvious. They want, I was going Cory Booker for the win, but Tim Kaine was picked, former governor of Virginia, lifelong politician. Hillary, lifelong crook, politician. Lifelong crook. Lifelong. Yes, lifelong. I tell you what, if there was video surveillance, you could probably find Hillary Clinton stealing candy at a little convenience store when she's like 7 or 8 or something. Something. She probably had a boy go in there because that's how she probably had a boy go in there, distract the clerk while she stole the money out of the cash register. The Clintons, Hillary picks Tim Kaine to go after the white male vote, and we know that. But anyhow, the DNC, Deborah Wasserman Schultz. Bernie told you the system is rigged. Donald's told you the system is rigged. The email showed the system is rigged. Okay, the email showed the system is rigged. Everything points to rigged. Deborah Wasserman Schultz set her own standards. She's going to open the convention, close it. Okay? It's Deborah, go to hell, Wasserman Schultz. She could care less what you think. They fire nobody. Now, they're going to come out this week and they're going to talk about Donald Trump, how dark the Republican convention was this past week, okay? But I tell you what, it was so dark, Donald Trump, by polls, got a 6-point bounce. 6-point bounce coming out of the convention. Donald Trump did, okay? 6-point bounce. Okay, so that's how dark the convention was. The American people, 75%. I heard CNN had to scrap their poll because 75% of the people they polled that watched the convention had an optimistic view of it. And they had to scrap it because it wasn't going with their storyline. All right? The DNC convention in Philly is upside down. They're protesting. Bernie Sanders, if you come out tonight after finding out that you were the center of an attack and it was orchestrated by Hillary Clinton and Deborah Wasserman Schultz, and you get out on that stage and you praise this woman and you talk about her being the most experienced and the most qualified in your lifetime to be president of the United States and all this crap, okay? You're a fraud. You've let the kids down. The American youth that were following Bernie Sanders, cheering feel the burn, free college, no more tuition, you are letting them down. And they showed up for you. Now, if you look, the DNC, as you can see, the DNC is definitely getting the first night, they're getting people out of the way. I hear Elizabeth Warren speaks tonight. Bernie Sanders is like, get them out of the way. Get them out of the way. Okay? Yeah. I mean, hey, Bernie, you should be a Wednesday night. You should be Wednesday night where people start paying attention. Okay? I mean, it's pretty bad, Bernie, when they're going to get a mailman, a barber, and a mechanic to speak, and then you come on next as the high, and then Pocahontas. Anyhow, they're going to tell you how Donald Trump is the person that, what does he say? You're fired, you're fired. Look, the American people, he's tapped in. The American people want somebody fired. The American people understand when Deborah Wasserman Schultz, you know, when Deborah Wasserman Schultz gets caught doing what she did, the American people understand if they're on their job today, they get fired. March to the door. You need to go. Hillary Clinton, last night in a 60 Minutes interview, what'd she say? Well, she was not going to campaign on something that didn't directly affect, she was not going to comment on something that didn't directly affect her campaign. Why not? Donald Trump would say it. He would say it flat out. She's got to go. Do you think, how long? Look at all the times Donald Trump said to Reince Priebus, he's the chair of the RNC, hey, he called him out 3 or 4 times on things. Okay? I tell you what, come to find out, Priebus, he ain't half bad. You may not like him. I've had people call him a weasel, but I'll tell you what, he came out, had a strong convention, didn't have no reason to fire him. He said all along it wouldn't be contested. He got the Republicans to a convention, got them through a convention, and gavelled it out. It's official. The Republican Party convention is closed, and we're well on our way. Let's go. 6-point bounce for Donald Trump in the polls, people. But no, the DNC, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, they know, see, in the real world, people, they're disconnected. They're the establishment. They're crooked. They are so crooked. They are the Hugo Chavez of the United States. They decided Hillary was running. Nothing will stop them. No amount of corruption can detour these Democrats from doing what they want to do. In the real world, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, you get fired. She comes out and she says she resigned. All right, well, she was forced to resign. Okay, so but I'm going to stick around till it's over and then I'll quit because I'm not going to admit a damn thing. I'm going to go home and help other Democrats get elected and take care of the concerns of my district in Florida. No, you got caught. You're a crook. You're no good. You did a bad job. In America, you do a bad job, you crook, you get caught, you get fired. That's why. You're not going home because you want to help and look into the needs of the people in your district. It's like, in the real world, it's like, you get fired on Friday, Deborah, and it's like, Monday, you're still here? You're still here? You remember when George Costanza got fired, or, he quit or whatever, the real estate, and he showed back up Monday? They're like, what are you doing here? I thought you quit. Anyhow, Deborah, you need to leave. If Deborah Wasserman Schultz gets on the stage tonight, it's game over for Bernie. Hillary said on 60 Minutes, here's what Hillary said. It's almost like, what was the quote? She said, it's almost like there's two sets of standards. Who coached this lady last night? Because she says that. There's almost like there's two sets of standards. There's the Hillary Clinton standard, and then there's the standard for everybody else. And I'm thinking, did you just say this? Hillary, did you say this? Because we know that. The Clintons live by a different standard. Yeah, it's almost like there's two different standards. The Russians, why would the Russians do this, folks? Why would the Russians do this? There's no need for the Russians to do this. And let me tell you why. It's WikiLeaks. First of all, you got to find a villain, okay? The Clintons are so low, they got to find a villain, all right? What else, espionage and all this stuff, you got to say Russians, okay? Because the Clintons, think this is like 1960, the Russians, the Ruskies, okay? The Ruskies did it, okay? Oh, those Ruskies. Well, my people, the DNC, the Democrats, oh, they'll fall for anything. They'll believe the Russians and the Huffington Post. Oh, they'll believe that over anything. WikiLeaks says we're WikiLeaks. We're not the Russians. We're WikiLeaks. So WikiLeaks is ready to dump some more. I'm going to tell you my thought, and this is kind of off the chart a little bit, as you well know I'll get from time to time. But I'm going to tell you my thought in the background of WikiLeaks and Hillary Clinton. And some people might think, well, is WikiLeaks really in favor of Donald Trump? I don't think they're in favor of Donald Trump. Well, then why are they doing this to Hillary Clinton? I'll explain to you. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie. I think it's an hour and 17 minutes long, if I can remember right. But it's called The Clinton Cash. Clinton Cash. Folks, you need to watch Clinton Cash. You need to watch that movie. Okay? I'm serious. From what they did in Haiti, what they've done in Africa, what they did in Russia, how they sold our uranium deposits in the Midwest through Canada, through these shell corporations to Russia, to Vladimir Putin, and then Bill Clinton gets a $750,000 speaking fee, and about the time the money hits the bank, that's when all the deals start going down and Vladimir Putin starts cornering the uranium market, our energy source for the future. Yeah. Okay. What about Iran? What about when we were going to put sanctions on telecommunication and telecommunication and technology on the Iranians? We were going to add that to the sanctions, and that was being talked about. And the next thing you know, Ericsson, the digital company up there, Ireland or wherever they're at or somewhere, Ericsson company said, hey, we want to sell the technology to Iran. We got some things going on there. Don't put the sanctions. Next thing you know, Bill Clinton does a $750,000. I think the uranium deal was hundreds of millions of dollars, but Clinton does a speech. Next thing you know, no technological communication sanctions on Iran. Ericsson's doing business there, and Hillary comes out and gives a speech and says, at the State Department, and says, hey, we think these telecommunication companies and these technological companies should police themselves and know who they're doing business with and choose not to do business with them. Like, we're not going to do anything. She should, let me tell you something, folks. Sidetracked, I'm not getting. But they're making a big deal out of saying lock her up. Lock her up. Folks, I'm telling you now, Hillary Clinton should be in jail. It's not just a joke. I mean, you watch Clinton Cash, you watch what they did in Africa, and she's in the State Department, folks. She is in the State Department signing off on stuff. She's in the State Department signing off on the environmental and the environmental impact studies for the XL pipeline, okay? And then Greenpeace and all of them were like, you know, all the environmentalists are like, what the hell, Hillary? What the hell? Well, you know, check Bill and Hillary's bank account. Folks, we'll go on with that. But let me say this. Hillary Clinton is so corrupt. How corrupt is she? She's so corrupt. I got sidetracked there a little, Lonnie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know that, don't you? Mm-hmm. Okay. You cannot afford to put this person in the White House. You cannot afford it. Now, WikiLeaks is bringing her down. My reason for is because they know the world corruption that the Clintons are involved in. See, Donald Trump's not involved in corruption. Okay, they're going to, this is my opinion, the Russians didn't do it. Why would the Russians do it? Hillary and Bill have done so many things that benefit the Russians. If you think as Secretary of State, now listen to me real close. If you think as Secretary of State that Bill and Hillary were able to rake in $5 billion in the Clinton Foundation and were able to go throughout the world from India to Africa, you name it, throughout the world and grant all these great deals and raped Americans, oh yeah, just cleaned our land, cleaned us out, and trashed America for foreigners all over the place, for foreign countries all over the place. Do you not think they could triple that deal? That's what they're saying now. You realize if I become president, we could triple the amount we're stealing? Triple it? So why would Putin and some of these people that would love to see a Hillary Clinton continue to ravish America, ravish our wealth, our assets of any kind whatsoever? Why would Putin want to take her out when he could be the winner of that? No, Putin doesn't want to take her out, is my opinion. But WikiLeaks, that's why they're blaming it on the Russians. WikiLeaks probably knows of her corruption in Africa. Their corruption in Africa, okay, where people got mineral rights, okay. Look at the guy that got the, in Haiti, got the gold mining rights or whatever. Just go on and on. So I don't think WikiLeaks is taking her out. Now, Donald Trump. Now, WikiLeaks, are they going to go after Donald Trump? I don't know, but what are they going to go after? All right, they claim he didn't pay contractors. Very possible. We got a lot of construction sites. A lot of contractors don't get paid from time to time. They claim they did their job, whatever. Maybe Donald Trump did, but that's what they're claiming, okay? They claim all these little things. And I have to say, although they're serious in some respects, they claim all these little things against Donald Trump. But let me tell you something. Donald Trump hasn't made a major corrupt uranium deal with the Russians via Canada through our Midwest by all kinds of, and use the State Department. He hasn't done that. So there's really nothing for WikiLeaks to release on Donald Trump. But Hillary Clinton, they're not done with you because they know worldwide. We need to let the American people know, because let me tell you something, some people know worldwide. Hillary Clinton is a crook on the world stage. And yes, there are two standards, one for Hillary Clinton and Bill, and one for the rest of us. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take our break, 8:30. At 9 o'clock, stay tuned. We're going to have a different kind of show. I'm going to do my FBI investigation story at 9, so stay here. FBI investigation story in Fannin County. I'm going to do that. And we're going to look at runoff elections at 9 o'clock. So that's where we're going to stay. And I'm your host, BKP. Fannin County House of Cards. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Lonnie, take us to break.